Let's check on these worms and see what's going on. So taking off the new bubble wrap. We have some worm activity on here. Go ahead and take that guy off. Now with the bubble wrap on here, we got something that we haven't seen before, and that we have worms up here on the top of the paper. I'm guessing that with the bubble wrap trapping the moisture in here, that the worms decide they're going to come and hang out with that spot. So I will simply pull this paper bag off to the side. Oh, look at that. The bag is really breaking down now that I added that bubble wrap on there, so that's a real bonus. Fold that up carefully. Okay, so let's get to this week's feeding. Now last week we fed right here in the middle, I believe it was. Or was it on this side? Or on this side? Anyways, we'll check the whole bin. How about that? So plenty of worm activity in here. Actually, I think we fed over in this on this end. So lots of good worm activity in here. There's a good amount of moisture in this bin now. Now that bubble wrap is kind of trapping that in there. And just lots of worm activity here. Now I'm getting to a point from when I started this bin that my worm population should be, getting ready to double at this point from the original worms I had in here, which means that I have all the worms I originally added would be fully mature at this point, and it'd all be of reproducing age, and I should be able to have a bunch of nice young worms to help increase the population over the next 60 days. Just kind of flip this up a little bit, and I do see a good mix of both mature and immature worms. It's looking good. So let's get to this week's feeding. I didn't have time to blend up the food this week, so let's go ahead and just add some of this in here. We got some broccoli, some lettuce, carrots, more carrots, some potato skins in here, put a little bit of bell pepper in there. There's some potato skins. You can see that was definitely some sort of a pepper. The seed's still there. Let's go and pop all that in. We'll add a little bit of the powdered eggshell for grit, and we'll go and cover that up. Now, since I've got two bins, I've decided I'm going to start giving them a name. So bin number 1 here will be Riker, and we'll go ahead and cover Riker back up with a paper bag, which is definitely falling apart now. The bubble wrap back on top, with the bubble side down. One of the things I want to do with this new bin today is get the heat mat set up on it. So I have a heat mat here that's set up for like a 10 by 20 tray. I have a thermostat with the probe to keep it at the right temperature. With the heat mat underneath the bin, I'll now just plug the heat mat into the outlet part. I'm going to set that temperature to 75. So I'll take that probe, just kind of bury it right here into the soil, in the middle of the bin, and about halfway down through the materials. Now that we got the probe in bin number 2, let's go ahead and do like a quick evaluation of this bin since I just got it started up. We'll kind of just dig through here, see what the materials look like. If I do some sort of rough assessment of how many worms we have in here. Not that I'm going to go and sit here and count them, but I just want to generally just see how many worms I can visually, see just through the bin. And we definitely got a lot of, partially broken down leaves. There's some horse manure and horse manure bedding in here. There's one of the small worms. Why this bin doesn't have anywhere near as many worms as the first bin, or the Riker bin. There's definitely enough in here that they should be able to start breeding and increasing the population. Now we fed last week here in the middle, if I remember correctly. So let's see if there's any food scraps left over. There's a little bit of the food. We got, a little cluster of worms there feeding on it. Feeding on what's left anyways. So that lets us know like how many worms we have and like how old they are. So these worms do not have their, well, that one's just kind of forming their clitellum. So they're not really quite breeding age at this point. But over the next 60 days, they will definitely reach that point. Another one. This one's a little bit longer. It's got the yellow tail that indicates that that one's a red wiggler. Now some of these other worms, I'm not sure if they're going to be red wigglers or something else. Because, I did pull this material out from my outdoor compost bin. And we'll feed over on this end. So we'll go ahead and do the same type of feeding that we did on the Riker bin. And we got broccoli and carrots. Some peas they see in there. Potato skins. I think that'll be enough. This population isn't as big, so I don't think I need to put as much food in here. Cover some eggshells for the grit. And we'll call this side done. Alright, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.